So I didn't grow up in a house where we talked about money at all. And so me or my wife, so we had to learn things the hard way. We'll say it like that. We had to learn things the hard way. So with our kids, we have family meetings where we actually talk about what we're going to budget for the week. So they know that is an important part of life, an important part of being able to live within your means. So, you hit it on the head. We need to really teach money, not only at home, and the school should be a part of this. Everybody should be teaching good money habits.
Welcome to another episode of The Irreplaceable Dental Assistant. And as always, I have a fantastic guest. His name today is George Sago. Welcome, George.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
It is awesome to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, George. I know that you are someone who is always on the grow, learning, because we are in a similar group, staying on the grow. But tell my audience a little bit about who you are and what you bring to the table.
Awesome. Yes, as stated, I'm George Sago. I'm here in the United States of America. And what I do for a living, I'm a lifetime banker, I guess you want to call that. So I've been in banking for over 15 years in various roles. My role that I am in now is I'm actually a mortgage originator, which is I help people buy homes, get the mortgage to buy the home. Nobody really wants a mortgage, but people want homes. And so I provide that for them to be able to do that. So part of my role in my job, they call it a community mortgage originator. So part of my job is to educate the community about credit, educate the community about budgeting, saving. So that is part of my role in my current position where I am now. So I have a passion about teaching people how to keep more of what they have and be able to build wealth, not only for themselves, but also for future generations to come. So that is a passion of mine. And that's why I was so excited to be invited to your podcast to help your audience kind of give us some tips and of the trade and how to do some of those things where they can, practically save, practically build wealth and things of that nature with what they have.
Well, George, you are the man of the hour. This podcast goes internationally, and one thing we know for sure, that if you understand how to use your money, you have a better quality of life, no matter how much you're earning, because you can earn billions and not use it carefully and lose it just like that. So I have $1 million question for you, George. What is money management?
Money management. It can really can be broken down to simple terms. Is you telling your money where to go, not waking up on a Friday afternoon saying, I just had $500. I have no idea where it went. Is you telling your money where to go. So that's simple terms. That's what money management is, managing what you have, managing the money that you have, telling it where to go, telling it how I'm going to spend you. You're in control. It's not in control of you.
I love that answer, because many times we just kind of float on down the river. There's a sale over there. You pick up that. You have a whim to do that. So you go and do that without really planning things out. So I love the fact that money management is telling your money where you want it to go. Rather than allowing it to guide you. So George, I've heard this word or these words, compound interest, floating around. How can I make compound interest work for me?
Gotcha. So part of the money management, I guess, definition or money management process is to it's actually, but so you have to have a budget. So I'm gonna get into compounding, but I want to talk about budgeting first before I tell you about compound interest and how it works for you. Because without that budget, that compound interest, that working for you is not gonna be as beneficial, right? Because you don't even have money to put there to earn to the compound interest. So before we get to that, we have to just kind of talk about budgeting and why it is so important to do. You talked about money management again, tell your money where to go. So budgeting is actually putting a plan in place to tell your money where to go. And why that is important as far as compound interest goes is because you have to make sure you have enough to take care of your bills. Then we kind of talk about what we want to save in order to earn compound interest. So we have to get in a place where we are comfortable and we are disciplined, where we can put those funds into some type of vehicle. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a savings account per se, but some type of vehicle that's going to give you compound interest, where basically what that is just interest on interest. It's your money, your principal, and then the interest accumulated, again, just getting interest on those funds. So how it works for you is you are able to plan opportunity to add to that fund every week, every month, whatever that may be for you in your plan. But you have to be able to do that to take full advantage of compounding interest, because interest rates for the longest time in those vehicles that people kind of initially start building savings with have been, historically low over the last probably 10 years or less, 10 years or more. And so what you're seeing now with the interest rates is the rates are going up at financial institutions. So you're getting a little bit more on your deposit. So this is a great time, if you don't have any type of savings, to find a vehicle that works for you, a savings account, a money market account, a CD, something that works for you, where you can start building wealth and building that compounding interest that comes with those particular instruments. So how it works is it's money you continue to put into that vehicle, also with the interest, and that continues to just compound and build and grow and grow and grow. And that's what you want as you continue to try to build wealth and build that savings that your budget plan talked about. And we can kind of get into some tools as well to help with that budget and help with planning and things of that nature. So
George, simply put, then, this is me trying to interpret what you just shared with us. If I say $5 and I made 50 cents interest, then the next time the interest made would be on the $5.50. Exactly. And then the interest made on that would be
basically I made 50 cents on that $5. The next month, when that interest is calculated and accumulated, I'm making interest on $5.50. That's how that compounding interest works for you. And then the next month, I made 75 cents. So now I got $6.25. That interest is compounded on top of that $6.25, and that continues to grow. And the being able to add to it is just an acceleration of that. So that's why I think that having that plan to add to those funds, that's going to be your best tool to grow that money at an accelerated pace.
So George, it's official. We love the term compound interest. It's working in our favor.
Right.
So George, quick question. For someone earning about $45,000 per year, what are some simple things that can make that person financially stable?
Okay, awesome. Again, creating a budget. I'm gonna keep harping on that. You have to create a budget. There's some tools that are out there. There's a website called Every Dollar that allows you to create a budget, but it does cost. Now, a free tool that I really like to use is Mint. Mint is a free tool that allows you to create budgets, create goals, and things of those nature. So the first step is create a budget, because when you're talking about being financially stable, it's really not how much you make, but how much money you are able to keep. So when you create that budget, you are putting a plan in place to become financially stable. Because if there is debt, because everybody's situation is different. If there's debt that you need to tackle, that budget is going to help you create a snowball where you can pay that debt down and pay it off. Being debt free is a beautiful thing. And not all debt is bad debt. I tell people that every day, because you get to a point where you make your credit work for you. You talking about becoming financially stable. Once you create that budget, once you are able to get rid of bad debt, you are able to maybe look at opportunities where I can go in and use my credit for rental property, bring in additional income to your household. So what that initially does, if you can continue to build that passive income stream, you're able to, you said that word, financially stable, you're able to get there much quicker than just, doing your 9-to-5 job. So so I guess the steps: budget, getting a budget, getting rid of bad debt, finding other sources and streams of income to help accelerate that wealth that you're trying to build. And those are the three big things as far as being financially stable. If you can do that first part, it's going to go a long way. If you can create that budget, if you can create that plan to tell your money where to go. And again, I know debt is a heavy burden to a lot of people. If we can get rid of all our bad debt and just work on that, it's going to go a long way. Even if you never create another source of income, by you creating a budget and creating a plan, a savings plan, creating savings goals, and also getting rid of that bad debt, that's going to put you in a place where you are very secure and very financially stable.
Okay, so George, what's the number one thing that you would discourage people aiming for financial security? What would you tell them? You absolutely should not do this.
Right. And we just talked about it. Buying, first of all, I'll say that getting bad debt, spending outside of your means.
Spending more than you can afford.
Right. So spending more than what you bring in. So that's the number one killer. So if you know what your income is, you know what you have, what you're responsible for, but you see this Maserati that I gotta have this Maserati. You make $45,000 a year. You have to live, but you go out and buy you a Maserati. So is that a smart decision? So you know that that's going to put you in a real bind. So those type of things, and I say that I'm joking, but people actually do this type of stuff. So those type of things put you in a very, very bad place where I would say it becomes not impossible, but it becomes much tougher to try to be financially stable when you're making bad decisions with your money. So we have to make good decisions. We have to tell our money where to go. We can't be impulsive. Those type of things will harm you in the long run. So that's the key, really, is to make good decisions with your money. So don't spend money that you know you don't have.
So here's the thing, George. Mm-hmm. There are two words that get us into trouble every time. You know what those two words are? Charge it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's part of those bad decisions.
So now it looks like something you can't afford. Maybe you could afford because you can afford the monthly payments that the credit card is going to charge you. But we need to know that that's compound interest working in the reverse.
So, exactly. Exactly. That's part of, that's again, I keep harping on this, but that is part of that budget, because you know what you can afford when you create a budget. You know what savings goals you have when you create a budget. So you won't go in charge. You won't go do those things because you are aware and you're disciplined about what you have, and that's going to take time. I know it's not going to be something. It took me time, of learning year after year, different things that I'm trying, different tools I'm using, trying to get to where I can follow a budget and be disciplined with it. But my thing is, the charges, bad decisions. Don't do it. Don't charge your car if you don't have the money to pay that thing off right then and there. So,
I think one of the things that we should learn from grade school right through high school is money and how it works. Because I think that we treat money based on the culture in the family that we come from. So if you're growing up in a family where they just charge things and it kind of works itself out and they're always living on the edge, invariably that's what you learn to do. If you are brought up in a household where they are aware and they are disciplined as to how they spend, then your spending habits will be closer to that.
Yeah.
So, having someone to share this information is so critical, because it's not automatic that these things, budgeting, that means that you have to be able to account for every single cent. And people are like, oh my God, where do I start with this?
Okay, where do I start with this? I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So I didn't grow up in a house where we talked about money at all. And so me or my wife, so we had to learn things the hard way. We'll say it like that. We had to learn things the hard way. So with our kids, we have family meetings where we actually talk about what we're going to budget for the week. So they know that is an important part of life, an important part of being able to live within your means. So, you hit it on the head. We need to really teach money, not only at home, and the school should be a part of this. Everybody should be teaching good money habits. I remember in our schools, we used to, back in the day, they gave us a little bit of it, how to write checks and how to balance a checkbook. They don't do any of that now, any of that.
No, and so you're kind of just left out there. And what's even worse is that if you're in a university setting, they hound you with credit cards that you don't have to pay anything until you graduate. And so you go crazy thinking, okay, I'm on easy street. And then when you graduate and those astronomical bills hit you, you're behind before you've even started running the race.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember you talk about that university setting, getting pizza and T-shirts and stuff like that just to fill out a credit card application. And so I think I had about 3 or 4 credit cards in college, and you're right. I had, like I just told you, we didn't talk about money in my household, so I had no idea what to do. I just spent it. I don't think they ever got their money, so we had to learn the hard way of how to manage money and be responsible and be disciplined with it, because if you're not careful, again, you make bad decisions.
Right. So this has been such an eye-opening conversation. I think that what I take away from this is budget, Oh, and by the way, budget. And that simply means putting on paper what you earn and what you spend so that you can have a good idea if you are spending within your means or if you're spending beyond what you should each month, so you're always chasing. The other thing I heard you say is try and pay down bad debt. So before you even start saving, add more towards paying down your bad debt.
Right. You have to get rid of it.
The third thing that I heard you say is if you have any funds that you can identify, put it in an instrument that will earn for you compound interest. Interest rates have been low, but now they're coming up again in the US. Right. So, even if it's moving slowly, $5 put there is more than the zero that you had there before.
Yeah, exactly.
So even if it grows slowly, it's on a growth trajectory. Later on, when you accumulate more, you can do more with it.
You can do more with it. You can put it in some higher earning instruments and investments and things of that nature. But we got to take baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yep. We got to take baby steps.
The important thing is to start, right?
The thing is to start. Exactly.
Even if it is just putting pen to paper. And you said you mentioned a free website that people could go on to begin the process.
Yeah. I use this. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just use it and I like it. It's mint.com.
MINT?
MINT. You're able to set up your own your personal budget. You're able to set up saving goals. It's a pretty good tool. Like I said, it's free to use. Doesn't cost a thing. So it's just a tool that helps you manage your money. And I guess another thing too, most banks now do have budget tools that you can use within your account. So also look into your bank and see what tools that they have to help you, again, manage money. We're gonna say those terms, budget, manage money, because those are things that that we need to focus on to build the wealth and to get that financial freedom that we are seeking.
Right. Because as you and I said before, it doesn't matter how much you're earning. If you don't know how to manage it, you'll never have enough. Right. Yep. So George, I always end my podcast with a quote. If you have one to share, I'd love you to share it. If not, I definitely have one to share.
Okay. All right. So I do have one. This is a Jim Rohn, one that I come across in life. And to manage money, to do the budget, to do a lot of the things in life that aren't natural, we got to have discipline. And so the quote that I want to share is, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. And that's Jim Ross, a quote from Jim Rohn, who's an entrepreneur here. But discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments, because we can make goals, and if we're not disciplined enough to move them forward, we don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. So discipline is a very important tool that we need, our skill that we need to build in our everyday lives. If start with small things and continue to just work your way up to build that discipline muscle.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, George. And I do hope that sometime in the future we'll be able to connect again. But we have enough information to make a start right where we are. No matter how much we're earning, we can make a start by just changing our way of thinking. Thank you so much. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too. Thank you.
I just loved chatting with George. George had so many pearls. Listen, What did he say about money management? Simply telling your money where you want it to go. And budgeting is a plan that tells your money where you want it to go. And we spoke about this free place, mint.com. It's a free tool that helps you create a budget. Mint.com. Okay. Now, once you have been able to put together a budget and you identify some money that you want to save, let compound interest be your friend, because your money will grow exponentially if you put it in a good instrument that has compound interest. Know, on the other hand, though, that charging more than you can afford will have compound interest sucking the life out of you. You'll never finish paying for the debt. So be mindful. Don't, please do not buy what you cannot afford. To be financially stable, you have to have a budget and you have to lower your debt. Never, ever spend more than you can afford. I know I said it before, but it is such a profound statement, because on a daily basis, people's eyes light up when they see something that they like. And boy, if they can charge it, they will. Welcome to the doom of compound interest. You'll be paying and paying on that thing 4 times over and still not paid off for it. So, listen, you have to have discipline. Jim Rohn says, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. I agree with that 110%. Sometimes you have to see something, like it, and love it from a distance. Listen, this is such good information. Don't keep it to yourself. Share, like, subscribe. And as I always say, life is better when we live, learn, and grow together. Blessings.